with organizing? What's that to do with any of this? And I just give you one example from the present day. I would argue anyone who's interested in the success of the Occupy movement, particularly anyone who's in leadership, a good thing to study actually would have been the neurotic movement of the 19th century in Russia, which is a movement of peasants and intellectuals in the 18th century in Russia. If you study that movement, you're going to find a ton of parallels between the fact that when that movement emerged, there was a lack of demands and clear programs, sort of criticisms that were leveled against that movement, even the social basis on which this movement based itself. And I think, given the present moment in the Occupy movement, studying that movement, understanding the trajectory that movement took at that time, it would be extremely useful for revolutionary leadership, or at this moment, particularly for the Occupy movement leadership. Also, I think we need to have a reevaluation and study of the 1960s, the anti-war movement in the United States. And I would argue that had the current leadership of Occupy been aware and studied these sorts of things before the movement broke out, and had the best interest of the working class in mind, I think they would have been less likely to repeat the same mistakes that a lot of these movements made in the past. So in summation, I hope we have a good discussion. I have a lot of time for it, but just I will close by saying this. Like I said earlier, the crisis of leadership, particularly of the Occupy movement, is of real pressing importance, not only for the working class in the United States, but also for ultimately the world revolution. So I think it's really important that we discussing this and considering this, because really we're talking about the future of humanity and ultimately whether we have a future.